Good evening. Almost next day. Anyways, something to think about. Thursday, Ron Real with Rain Chill. Disclaimer, don't get caught up in any words that I use. They're just words that come to my mind to best describe my perspective on a topic. You may use a different word. It's just in hopes to help another on their journey, go down a path of least resistance. And we're going to get right into shout outs. So as you see, hair is done. You see that color still in there popping. Let me tell you, when your beautician person who does your hair tells you to get the good stuff for the products to use in your hair in between, get it, because it makes the style, makes the color last so much longer, helps your hair be so much healthier. And I mean, I have her even pointing out how good my color is still looking. Roseanne at the Heavenly Salon, I had to pick up my paparazzi. Even got this pink here to go with my shirt, but I don't know about anybody else, but I'm not ready for this cold. I caught me a chill. Hi, Jasmine. But also, oh my gosh, did you see that venue that I shared earlier over on Pryor was the last name? A friend of mine had shared it, and it just looked so beautiful that I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta share it. This is gonna answer someone's prayer on the place for a special event they got going on. So check it out. And I know it only took over a year now I've been doing this. So I'm just excited. So much stuff going on, like with the kids. Also, anyone want donuts? Orders are going in. They will be here Tuesday, November 1st, for you to pick up at the center, or I can arrange to drop them off. And after, amongst practice, because I know we have practice on Tuesdays. So basketball has been crazy, but exciting at the same time. I'm so excited for these girls. I'm so excited. I can't believe Via. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to see her like advancing and playing, and the relationship she's building, the bonds that's happening, the family relationship bonds that's being created. So definitely, I know it's been a minute. Well, I did take a little break, the one time I had to do a little reset. But Jasmine, talking to Jasmine. Oh my gosh. Yes, Avia is like, I'm super excited. She's actually even going out for JV high school basketball. So you gotta come to one of her games, Jasmine. When she gets on the team for JV, you gotta come check her out. We have like 2 more games on Monday evening that she's gonna be playing, and I'm just super excited where she's going with the basketball. And what else? And so just some things, some things we got going on with that. And I'm so super excited with working with not even just the girls, the boys, because you know me, I love the love I get from children. I love building bonds with them. I love enlightening them and just opening their eyes to things. And so it goes into the topic: power in what you speak, think, and what you hear. I did mention that I was gonna bring up what happened a couple of weeks ago with the guy in the bike, how I kind of might have created that situation. It wasn't that horrible, whatever, thank God. It was just, an incident that took place, but it was mind-blowing. Let me not forget, it's mind-blowing because earlier that morning I was actually on Facebook, and I seen a friend shared something. It was something about Cardi B and Nicki Minaj's quarrel. And so, I was reading comments from the original post, and they were talking about how do you know things aren't staged? I mean, because it's unfortunate, but people flock to drama. It gets people's attention. And, as much as of a lot of the positive, or even okay, so like how I seen a friend that shared about someone's venue. I'm not even friends with the person, but the place was just like beautiful. And we take for granted, like, just sharing someone's information about a business or something that they're doing, just sharing the information on our Facebook that what takes us a couple seconds to do, but we don't do it. But when it's some drama, like, everybody's jumping on it. So when I seen that, because it was saying how, these stars are staging, and I thought, you know what, I know myself, I'm very, I try to be very conscientious of what I post, because I have a lot of children that watch my page, that watch me. So I know they're definitely conscientious. And I said, watch. It's crazy how much people flock to drama. I'm like, later on, I'm going to post some drama. I was going to talk about actually an incident that happened a couple years ago. I just recently come across a picture where I had a black eye from trying to break up a fight, a girl jumping on my friend, got grabbed by the root of my hair, head pulled down, punched in the back of my head for 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. To this day, whenever I complain of my headaches, it's because of the muscle spasms in the back of my neck. But I was going to post about that, and I was like, because watch how many people react or share about the drama. So, and then I was thinking that in my head, and then go, look what happens. An event, some drama happened, actually happened. And though I was able to handle this situation, like I said before, because of my working on myself and learning how to not, here's a tip, and I learned this from Aviel in some stuff we went through. She used to always tell me, because, and I actually use this when I used to be in the after school program, 5 to 8 year olds. Because, when I used to get in arguments with her, and voices are being raised, and she used to be like, Mom, you're the adult. You control the situation. And I'm just like, that's so true. And after that, I attempt, because, nothing is overnight, nothing is right away going to happen. So I started working on myself when I caught myself, getting, my voice getting high or wanting to react. I would have to bring myself down. And I did that a lot because, like I said, I was working with 5 to 8 year olds in the after school program. So, kids are going to be kids, and, just learning to come to their level and talk to them. But I started working that was that had to be 3-4 years ago. And, and then another time, whenever she wanted to come and talk to me, sometimes she'd be like, Mom, I want to talk to you. Don't get mad. When I knew she said that, I knew to hold it, because I probably normally would get mad, because that's what we as parents, we just react off of the emotion of. And so I've learned to just so my other two, I like to tell them, okay, listen, I want you to talk to me about anything. If I'm going to get mad, just be like, Mom, don't get mad. And I am preparing for something that may upset me, but knowing that ahead of time, I'm able to just and really listen to what they're saying. And sometimes where normally I would have just reacted, it actually turns out being a good conversation, and we're able to come to an understanding. But from years of doing that and working on my emotions, that's why I was able to so calmly react to that. Or sometimes I may react to things a little bit more calmer than the typical. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm prepared for the next time. But, so just in a sense, and what you think, I was thinking of sharing a photo to show, because look at the drama, look at how many times it was shared. I mean, it was shared also to let other people know, but how quick people were to react to that video as compared to a video like this, where giving advice, or just I'm not saying I'm living a perfect life, but my life is pretty peaceful. I worked on a lot of things. My environment is very welcoming, warm, loving. And I'm just, been through stuff, wasn't always like that. But I've been able to work on things, communication with my kids is have a great relationship with them. And I mean, not to say we don't still have our moments, because no one's perfect and we don't go off the grid, you know, but we catch ourselves and pull it back. But over time, but then you get to a point when you just are, it just kind of react. When you react, it's about not what happens to you, it's about how you react, and you just react that way. And so as far as like, you know, like I said, what you think, because here I thought of that, and it was just like mind-blowing that happened after I thought of, after the fact. Because don't get me wrong, after it was done, I like had to breathe, because I held all those emotions in. But that, and just like think about it, like as far as the power in what you hear. How many, like music, how many times have you, what playlist do you have, like when you're going to do something and you're getting yourself amped up, like do you listen to? So what you're hearing, or even the words, or what someone's saying to you, even like, and what you're like speaking, following a lot of Abraham Hicks, and it talks about how a lot of the times, like when we're talking about people, we're talking about things, and you know, our bodies consist of energy, and everything consists of energy. It doesn't decipher, like when we want something and we're speaking something into existence, or we're manifesting, and whatever the lingo or verbiage you prefer to use, you have to be specific, because sometimes we'll ask for love, or we want something from someone and we ask for it, and then it comes from somewhere else, and it's like, no, I wanted it from that person, but it comes what we asked for. And so it's just crazy, because then even the other day, a friend of mine, I was dealing with something, and I'm like, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was getting a little bit, I was being pulled, and my friend was like, you know what, just don't worry about it. Things will work out for you. They always do. And sure enough, like that evening, something happened that just like, whew, I could breathe, and like showing that things are going to work out. It's going to be okay. And I was just like, okay, you know, because sometimes you know, as much as I know and like understand that thinking a certain way, you can create, you know, things coming towards you, things happening. I mean, like, I don't know how many times I probably brought it up with the travel company, you know, with World Ventures, when we traveled a lot, you know, I was just telling a friend, we traveled like every couple months. I went on big all-inclusives every summer, and I didn't do it because the money was in the bank right away to do it. Like, we planned it out. But one thing, like, people knew is that if I decided I was gonna go, you know, decide, insecticide, kill off. But in my head, like, the power in what I was thinking, like, okay, I'm gonna be there. And so things presented themselves for me to be there. Everything fell and lined up for it to happen. But that's just in the power we think. You know, all my life, you know, when I was younger, and I've told you the story before about my grandma and my aunt, they used to always tell me like I was gonna be this big, you know, they always painted a picture that I was gonna be something big and extravagant. And so, you know, this especially goes for as far as like what hearing, speaking. So with children, like anyone in your life or around you, or even yourself, when you're talking to yourself in the mirror, what you're saying consistently all the time, like you're absorbing it, you know. And then kids are like sponges. We as adults, I find it's a little bit more difficult to really pull onto that, because life in a sense has happened, or we've come across, you know, bad situations, we've been through bad things. However, you know, it's crazy because some of the things we go through, we're quick to blame someone else, and we don't want to admit the choices that we made that got us in the surroundings or the situation that we're in. Granted, if it was in good, you know, our mind was thinking something else, you know, ultimately sometimes we ignore things and that are showing like, okay, wait a minute, it could go this way, and we don't pay attention. So, and just like, but what you're saying to yourself, and you know, the strengthening yourself and the words that you're using, you can build up or break down people or your things. You know, how many personal development, how many motivational stuff is like telling you like to how you're speaking to yourself, what you're speaking into yourself. And it just, the power in it, and what you're saying and what you're doing. I remember one time, it was so mind blowing. My daughter, I remember one time she was like, "Oh, Mom, I need some new leggings," and this was years ago. And then she had her advocate woman she met with that would come pick her up. Well, I think it was maybe a day later or something. She dropped off a couple pairs of leggings or something. It was something because through her therapy thing and things get donated. And I mean, her and Avi hadn't talked. So she was like, "Oh, here, these came in today and I thought they might fit her." And I'm like, so I had to show her like just in what she was speaking and what she wanted. My son, before we were moving a couple of years ago, and I used to tell my kids, start to appreciate what you have, and be grateful for what you have and where you are. And even if it's, not where you want to be, you're halfway there, but you came a long way. And I used to tell them to start thinking of like what they want, how, the next house, what do they want it to look like? What do they want their room to be like? And my son, he used to be like, "I want a big backyard and I want the biggest room." And so, it was also because I'm trying to encourage them to keep their rooms clean. So I'm like, you want to be blessed with more, you have to appreciate and take care of what you have. So, I'm getting them to make sure they're cleaning their room and appreciating what they have so we can get blessed with, something better. And sure enough, the house we moved into, big backyard, especially typical not the typical size for in the city. And he ended up with the biggest room. So, I didn't even realize or wasn't even thinking about that when we said who was getting what room. It just happened that way. And I was like, wait a minute, isn't this what you asked for? And as far as like what he was speaking, what he was visualizing for himself. And so just in the power of what you say, what you're thinking, what you're hearing, and that's what in words. And that's why, like, sometimes like it hit me one time, like when, when you go to say something, especially to a kid, and you say, "Oh, that's stupid," or "What are you, stupid." That just gets so, when kids aren't looking, or I can't quite grasp it, or they're trying to do something and it's like right there. And it's so, I used to switch it instead of when that incident came where normally someone might, or they'll call, "Use your intelligent brain and figure it out," or "I can't, use your intelligent brain and figure it out," and so, and I have to be careful because now sometimes, a lot of the times, my son will actually use a lot of the stuff that I say, and a lot of the stuff that I've learned with personal development, with the books that I read, the seminars that I went to, and he'll use them back on. He'll try to use them against me, and I'll be like, nope, I'm a couple steps ahead of you, but just to see like the people that are being created from that. And just, I even got to speak to a couple of the girls on the basketball team that are really good players. They're high school, and I just had to let them know like the power in what they're saying to their teammates and the team they could create, and how much more powerful encouraging words from them would be than from like the coaches. And so I watched them and I seen them be more as far as encouraging words instead of like frustrated with, because they're good higher level players and they're playing with like some are beginner level, but their encouraging words I seen changed. Even one girl, like, oh my gosh, you guys have to watch with the high school, you gotta come to these girls' game. The one girl, ℎ𝕆𝗓, I shared her stuff recently. Did you see that photo? How high that girl jumped? She's gonna dunk and I'm getting it on tape. I'm gonna be at that game. That's gonna happen soon. But she likes to jump up and grab the net, and she likes to like pull herself up on the net. And so I got to, after having that conversation with her, I got to revisit it because about the power in what they're saying and what they're doing. And because my daughter started doing it. Because she's, she's seen, here's a good player, let me follow her. And so that was just awesome, like to help them see that too. And just to speak that greatness and then that leadership role into them and helping them think a different way and changing the effect of how they are to those around them. And it's just amazing. I just love working with the kids. I just love seeing all this stuff and putting out this information and I don't know, just telling my story and experiences through it in hopes that someone might be going through something like, dang, I don't know how to approach this. And then here's an example of something, that I could use. Like I said, with that incident that happened, it's something that I got to use as an example towards children as far as me using violence, my words instead of my hands. And so just how powerful and how you're thinking, what you're speaking to yourself, what you're listening to. I mean, music-wise, words, who's around you, what they're saying to you, whether you're believing. Because, I mean, you could be around some people that's trying to say some stuff. Because trust and believe, when someone's trying to talk down or trying to bring you down because they see the power in you that they don't want you to see. That's what that is. The power in what you're hearing, so you need to block that out. When someone's around you trying to talk about you, because see, one thing I've learned in, being on this journey more recently and being more aware of things is that, and looking back in history, is that when there's something powerful, people will talk about it. People will they'll talk bad things about it, or they'll put fear in you about it. It's because they don't want you to see the power of it. They don't want you to see the light in it. They don't want you to see the good in it, because, for the lack in themselves, that you may excel past them and, excel in your journey and on to the next, and they're no longer being able to go with you. They don't see that happening. So just in the powerful, what you're speaking to yourself. That's what I try to be, when people ask you, how are you doing? I try, even if I am going through like pains, aches, something, I just be like, I'm good. Like today when I went to Roseanne to get my hair done, and she's asking how you're doing, and yeah, my neck's been really kind of lately, but I'm just like, I woke up this morning. I just had to be thankful for that, because, not all days are good, but every day above ground is great. It's to be grateful for, because there's some people who didn't wake up this morning. There's some people who had plans for today that didn't get to fulfill those plans. And, there's people that wanted to do things with and be with that we'll never get to see again. So just being grateful and just realizing the power of what you're speaking into yourself, into others, what you're thinking, what you're listening to, who you're surrounding yourself with is just so powerful. And I'm just so excited because there's some amazing things going to happen. I just can feel it, and I, know some things, but I ain't ready to talk no things. But yeah, so check it out. Also, I don't know if you've seen all kinds of stuff going on with the fall. I know there's the haunted hay rides out on the reservation. I heard they're pretty cool. And like Saturday, we're doing Fright World with the basketball group. Hopefully we're gonna get a big bunch of the kids together and go. Well, I'm not going through the haunted houses, no. My daughter can go through it. I'll sit outside, figure out what we're gonna eat afterwards. And yeah, just check on that venue if you're looking for a place to have a party. Check it out. I shared it on my page. You hear paparazzi. You already know my girl Roseanne got you. Go get you together. Whole experience in itself. And I'm sure lots more. And then when you see a friend that's doing a business, you see a friend that's selling a product, share it. It takes a couple seconds. It's free 99 to be kind. So just, you never know what you can do and the energy that comes back to you from, not even just that, just to be good. You want to build good karma, because if karma don't hit you from how you're treating people, it'll hit those that come after you, especially if you have children. So, and I've said that before. So just why not treat people good? I want good things to come back on my kids. So be kind, be powerful in your thoughts, in your words, in what you're listening to, what you're surrounding yourself with. And yeah, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace.